Snappers, it's Tortoise the Great. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pixelmon on the DeciMon server. We're hanging out here with Marshtomp, and we are gonna... I can never remember how to get out of this. So we are going to be doing some fun stuff today, I hope. Let me put this away. I went on a... Okay, so yeah, briefly, I went on a bit of an exploration mission. You guys seem to be on board with me planning on doing a ground gym. And so I think that's what we're going to do. And so I was kind of just doing some scouting missions to figure out where I want to do that. So I got a bunch of stuff. I got actually a really good chunk of iron and diamond. Well, it's just 5 diamonds here, but I didn't have to go mining for this, which is exciting. Apparently, they've changed some of the mob drops. So, like before, you used to be able to get diamonds from beating Pokemon, but it was just Dragonairs and Dratinis, and they were really hard to find. So obviously it wasn't really around. But now it looks like, and I'll have to look up and see if there's any others, but. Now Sableye, which makes sense, also drops diamonds, and I was flying around looking for kind of since we're gonna do a ground gym, I want to make it kind of an earthy sort of place, and we're gonna look around and see if we can't find a place that'll work for us today. Get your guys' opinion on it. But there was some Sableyes. I was looking at some. There's lots of extreme hills on this map because I think it's an amplified map. If I had to guess, just based on looking at the terrain that I've been seeing, I'm pretty sure it's amplified. So there's lots of extreme hills and lots of cool ones. And so I found a couple Sableyes and got some diamonds off them. I was beating up some Magnemites. I did end up finding some ice biomes, which we'll take a look at today. And so beating up Magnemites, I got a bunch of iron, and they were also dropping aluminium, or aluminum. Aluminium. But yeah, so I fought a couple of bosses, got some potions and stuff, found a couple of hidden grottos, we've got 2 magmarizers already, a couple of leafstone, thunderstone areas. I think I had this waterstone before. But yeah, so found some poke loot, some hidden grottos, things like that. It was an overall pretty productive trip, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. They've really improved. Or I also found a Pokemon Center. Hey, Swapper, what you doing, buddy? I also found a Pokemon Center, several Pokemon Centers actually, and I eventually just decided, well, I could easily craft this stuff, and I don't really need a computer or a trade machine, especially now because I only have 2 Pokemon, so it's not really a critical thing for me. But I figured I'd grab it and. Weird. Makes an odd clicking noise. But yeah, so I only have 2 Pokemon, but I figured I'd grab this stuff. It's you can't pick up healers, which is annoying. I wish you could, even if they just like with Silk Touch let you pick them up, but you can't move them, which is kind of dumb. But I guess you'd never need to craft one because you'd always just pull one out of a Poke Center. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Got some decent loot coming along, and we'll continue to gather that stuff. So yeah, today I'm thinking I want to, since we're doing a ground type gym, I figure we could go fly around, maybe look for a member for our team, and just see how that goes. I've got a whole list of guys here, and we'll probably, once we figure out a spot, really what I want to do today is figure out a spot to maybe start putting the gym, or at least I want to show you guys a couple of locations, and maybe I won't pick one today, but maybe I'll just record this, and then you guys can kind of give me the feedback. And I need to get more green ones planted, actually. Well, we'll do that later. I'll do that off camera. You guys don't need to see that. So I spent a lot of time just flying around on Pidgeot here. I'm recording this before episode 2 goes up because I've been really excited to play, and so I'm probably going to end up recording a lot of these just in bulk because I'm excited to play, but I don't want to do a ton without you guys, and so the result of that is probably going to be that I record a bunch at once. So I did ask last time if you guys had any ideas on let's see, that's what I want to do. Any ideas on like nicknames and stuff for these guys. I haven't seen any of that come up, and if I'm pretty sure I asked about it. If I didn't, then I would love for you guys to give me that information. Let's see. I want to try to go. I want to go positive. We're pretty much there. So I think it's going to be mostly this. No, we're. Okay, I've got to figure out which direction we want to go because I did some exploration, so I want to show you some of the places I found. I got to get positive X though and negative. All right, here we go. This is, I guess north is the direction we want. All right, let's get below the clouds so you guys can see what's going on. But yeah, so and we're pretty much at the Z already. Okay, so let me. I'm so bad with coordinates. We'll fly just this way, and then I will determine you know if I need a cut or anything like that. But yeah, so I got some of the questions I want you guys to consider, and are probably going to weight my consideration as well. Is actually I'll turn this off for a minute. So not only are there going to be cool locations, but there's things I want to consider. So I was really looking forward to finding a ice biome, ice hills, taiga, things like that, because that's where magnemites spawn. And so in beating magnemites, you used to get like an iron ingot or two, but they've changed some of the spawns. Okay, here we go. The desert is one of the locations I want to look, mainly because I just found it first. Before any of the other ones, and I was like, "Oh, a desert could be cool." It's kind of an earthy thing, and I've always wanted to kind of set up in a desert. I think sandstone and clay and things, I could do some really cool build things with that. And it's not super far from spawn. It's kind of out here. I want to build like into a mountain, and so my goal was kind of like or the inspiration I'm drawing from was going to be kind of like you know the abominable snowman's cave in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the old claymation one. It's kind of a big cave. It's kind of like a face. It's got this big open mouth and some creepy little eyes in it. And I was like, well, I could do something cool like that for my gym. It's a ground gym. It'll be underground is kind of what I'm planning. But I want a cool kind of entrance to it. And so I was thinking, you know, that's something I could do, but then I couldn't find one of those. I'd kind of flown off in multiple directions and couldn't really find anything. And then I stumbled upon this desert, and I was thinking, well, you know, we could also, you know, kind of like in Avatar, you've got earthbenders, but they're also sandbenders. I mean, it's kind of the same deal for ground. And so I was thinking, well, we could also, there's kind of this lonely mountain here, and it's not a huge desert, but I think it's kind of big enough for our purposes. We could also do kind of like a Cave of Wonders from Aladdin sort of deal, which would be kind of the same thing, just with sand. And I don't know that I do a giant lion head, but we could do something as a cool entrance to the cave here. And then usually another consideration is that, you know, you usually get pretty strong Pokemon out in deserts. Lots of ground Pokemon out here, obviously. And you can also get... you know, because they're stronger Pokemon and it's kind of a wide open space, it's usually pretty easy to find like bosses and stuff. So that's something to consider. Man, I'm getting some weird lag all of a sudden. I was not getting this earlier. What's my ping? Oh, wait, I've got F1. What's my ping at? It's not too bad. We're on with MN Sweet. But he's AFK, I think. I said hi to him when I got on a while ago, and he did not say anything back, so I'm assuming he's AFK. But yeah, so there's considerations here. Probably might be easier to find bosses because of the wide open space. Get pretty decent spawns in deserts and some stronger Pokemon. So that's certainly a consideration. And there's a couple Pokemon, at least one in here. For my team, I'm thinking I'm going to try and go mostly like dual type. Ground type Pokemon, so I think in this desert, really the ones that I'm probably going to be looking for, probably, well, I don't think Rhyhorn spawns in here, so we're going to want to find a Rhyhorn at some point, I think, because Rhyperior is in this game, and he may not be my favorite Pokemon, but he's a huge, bulky dude, so I think he'd be useful to us on a gym team. but also crocodiles are in here, and those have got the dual typing with the dark type and everything, and so that could be cool. Sandstone does not seem to blend into sand as well in this texture pack, so that may affect how I build, but we'll see. But yeah, so this is one of the options. You've got we could do like a Cave of Wonders sort of thing here in this mountain, and then go down and build the arena and all the things we've got to do. So that is certainly an option. Let's see. Let me cut now, and I will take you guys over to kind of some other areas that I've looked at. This one, it would be nice. We've got some Pokemon that would be desirable to have here. Let's see, I want to switch Swampert over. It's cool, you can battle from the back of your Pokemon. Oh, I got the Ladybug. Let's kill that thing. Might have got some string from that. No. But, so, that's the main consideration here is, I want to find a cool area, but there's lots of cool areas. I would really like to find yeah, we got another Ender Pearl. I'd really like to find an area that's both cool and has some Pokemon around it that would be useful. So taking into consideration the fact that bosses may be around here, since I'm going to be spending a lot of time, you know, in this area, it'd be good to, you know, Kadabras I can stock up on Ender Pearls, and like there's another one right there, and you know, and bosses and other things like that. So I want to kind of take that into consideration, and some of these other areas also. Come on, Cadabra. All right. Well, I'm going to take off. What are we doing? I will catch up back with you guys when we find another place. All right, guys. See you in a second. All right. So here's another kind of cool area I found as I was going around. This one's about 500 blocks or more. It's probably a little further away from the last place. It's the next place I kind of ran into on my way that was kind of acceptable. So I did end up finding a spruce forest, or Taiga. And so Magnemites will spawn here, which is cool. And then there's this kind of big cliff face here. This nice little enclosed space. The mixture of lava and water kind of caught my eye, but obviously those are changeable. But it's just kind of a cool little cliff in here. We could potentially do something here. What is it? Pachirisu here. And let me see up here if we're so we're in Taiga Hills. So yeah, still Magnemite spawning zone. Lots of cool hilly area over here. Not probably my favorite of the ones. I mean, it's a cool area, but I don't know. If I'm gonna do Taiga, I'm gonna kind of want it to be a snowy Taiga biome, if I'm being honest, because like right now, I don't know if you guys, I don't know where you guys are coming from, but if you follow my my Far Side series, right now I'm kind of in a spruce Taiga area right now for my base out there, and it's kind of a hilly spruce area. So this is cool, and I actually really love this kind of biome. But I wanna maybe change it up, and that's kind of what you know, is really drawing me to the desert one. That's kind of its big plus, is that it's really different. I've wanted to do a desert place before. Really, the only downside to the desert one is that there's not as good a Pokemon for drops and stuff around. But this is a cool area. We could do a little bit of terraforming here and get our thing built into it. I think we could definitely do some cool stuff with this place if it's something that strikes your guys' fancy. And flying around here, I'd love to find a place because so Magnemite spawn in Taiga Hills and Ice Plains, some of the colder types of biomes. This one might be a good spot. So there's a good hill here that we could potentially build our gym into, but it's also, so it's a border of Taiga, and then go over that river, and then you're in Extreme Hills, which would give us access to both the Sableyes and the Magnemites through different, you know, obviously if I'm just kind of in the area, they'll both spawn and I can wander around and find what I need. But But man, Sableye since they drop diamonds, and Magnemite since they drop both iron and aluminum. What is that little? Oh, it's a mushroom. Thought it was like a tepig or something. Since they drop both iron and aluminum, both of those are going to be really valuable to have kind of around. I'll never have to go mining, which would be super exciting if I can just get all of the ores I need by doing regular grindy stuff. That'll be fantastic. So again, another hill here. It's really going to kind of just depend on what kind of biome you guys want to see me in. I'm going to be doing the ground gym either way, I think. So it'll just be kind of like which one screams that to you guys the best. There's lots of great hills on this map. I mean, this probably isn't even one that I marked down, but it's just so cool looking. We could easily put something here. And the plan is we're going to kind of have an open entryway kind of through the mouth of it. And then from there it's going to go down, and there's going to be like a ring above the battle arena. And then the battle arena will be kind of down in between, underneath that. So the spectators will be above, and then there will be the arena underneath. So it's gonna be fully underground, and we'll do some cool stuff with that, decorative and things in there. But yeah. So let me cut again real quick because I think the actual snow biomes are pretty far out. And I will bring you guys back in when we get out there, and just so you guys kind of have an idea of all the options. Even just in this texture pack, you may know, well, I know what all these biomes look like, but it's kind of cool in this texture pack to find, figure out what things look like. Like the savannas and stuff look totally different, and things like that. And in fact, I don't really like the way the savannas look in this texture pack. Because like I love the look of acacia wood, but it doesn't really come through real well in this texture pack. And this I think this texture pack might be for like a 1.6 version, so they just may not have all of the stuff built in yet, because acacias and savannas and stuff didn't exist. Again, like here's another cool hill. So yeah, I'm gonna cut one more time, and I'll bring you guys back when we are out in some of the icy areas. All right, guys. Be back in a second. Alright guys, we made our way to the icy biomes. So this is where, we're going to get a lot of magnemites and things like that. The one downside to this area is, well, okay, so this isn't a hill that I would consider because it's right button up against a biome there. But there's not a lot of, so at least from what I found, I think I found one ice hill biome, but they're not, generally speaking, like I would want something like kind of crazy like all these other hills we found. And this may even be, let me look and see. Oop, we're in F1. So this is Ice Mountains. Yes, I mean we're in Ice Mountains here, but it's not real big, and that's not really an issue necessarily. I mean, we don't need it to be huge. I mean, this hill, we could certainly do something with this. So it just depends on exactly the feel we're looking for. Lot more spread out, smaller mountains kind of in this area than there would be like. I would really kind of like I love the way the desert is. It's kind of like one lonely mountain, and it does butt up right next to another biome, so that's not great. I'd love it if it was a huge giant desert with temples and one big mountain there, and I could certainly, and I will be doing other builds. Above the gym, I want to build my house and a Pokemon Center and a little mart so I can sell some of the stuff I make or find. And but I mean, this is kind of a cool place here too, right off the ice lake. And I know ground is weak to ice. I get it. It's just kind of I'm looking for somewhere where I can either get Magnemites or Sableyes or something, so I can get some good drops while I'm around. And Magnemites really tend to spawn in the icier areas, which I think it'd be cool to be in kind of a nice place anyway. It's just something different. And I know the Ice Gym people maybe will want to be in somewhere like this too, but they can find their own biomes. Thank you very much. No, and honestly, the way this server works is we've got to get our gym built before we. Oh man, man, I was maybe it's because I'm recording. I was generating terrain because I was looking around earlier this morning. You're able to get such huge distances while flying now. It's kind of amazing how quickly you can get really far away. But I was generating all this terrain this morning, so it's weird that I'm getting so much lag. It must just be that I'm recording. I usually don't see huge performance drops when I record, though. Let me look at the FPS it's saying I'm getting. Where do they keep it in this version? 32 frames per second, which is, not great, but it's good enough. Everyone's like, oh, I need 60 frames per second, and honestly, I went through video courses and stuff, and the fact of the matter is, the average human eye can't distinguish. Like, the human eye reads at 30 frames per second. And so the average person isn't going to really notice a huge uptick between 30 and 60 and things like that. It's almost, what was it? The Hobbit was filmed in some crazy FPS, and it actually was like making people nauseous. It was so the rate that people's eyes just couldn't keep up with it. So yeah, I've definitely been here. I've seen these two Focus Centers before. I think one of these is where, no, I stole one from another one. Is where I got my my trader and stuff like that. But yeah, so let's let you guys let me know what you think. Definitely between the deserty area, and I can always try and find another desert too. If you think, desert would be great, but maybe that's not the best desert, I can always look and try and find more deserts. That's the only one I've actually seen in my entire journey here, but I was looking for more colder biomes, so I was leaning more towards that. I was kind of straying, if I'd found a savanna or something, I was kind of straying away from it, because I think in 1.7 is when they introduced, temperature gradients for the biomes. Cold biomes will spawn near cold biomes and other things like that. And I was truly, my search was for this kind of biome as opposed to the hot biomes anyway. So that's kind of was the goal. Here is an Articuno shrine. I don't know if this is one. I found at least 2 Articuno shrines. I'm not sure. 16, yeah, I think this might be one of the ones I found. Let's see, 1630s. Yeah. This is one of the ones I found. But there's a couple out here. So I took the screen caps of this, and for any of the Deci people who are watching, if there are any Deci people watching, they can get the coordinates from there and figure it out. But so what I want to do with the rest of this episode, because we just have a little bit left, is I want to try and capture one of my teammates. And so let's one of the things I want to do is I want to definitely have there's so many good Pokemon that in this mod that I can use on a ground team that are like dual type ground. So let me get off nope, that's not this. And alright, so there's so many good ground type Pokemon in this mod. Like let me well, no, I don't want to pull it up because I don't know where it'll show up. I don't want it to be on the screen, which it probably will be. But so there's lots of good ground type Pokemon. Like we've got Swampert. Somebody on the first video said, definitely do ground so you can keep your starter and you can also get your Torterra. That was kind of my plan. So I'm glad you kind of keyed in on that. There's so many good ground Pokemon that I love. Actually, most of my favorite Pokemon ended up being kind of ground Pokemon, at least my favorites that are in this mod. Because you got Swampert, who's awesome. You've got Torterra, who's amazing. In my Pixel Adventure series, we had a Mamoswine, which I would kind of love to get. And actually, let's we've got to get a Mamoswine. We've got to catch a Piloswine, who has, and this is gonna be the death of Pidgeot probably. But I know this will be lower attack. You've got to catch a Piloswine. Ooh, perfect. You got to get a Piloswine that knows Ancient Power, and I honestly wasn't just watching what moves he was using, but we'll just catch one. Let's use the Heavy Ball. Why not? Ooh, that was a weird sound effect. Piloswine used Ice Fang. All right. So let's get an Ultra Ball going then. I guess Piloswines are not heavy enough for the Heavy Ball to really be effective. I got that out of a Pokeloot or something. Okay, so we captured Piloswine. Awesome. Let's take a quick look at it. That one looked pretty big, which was cool. Growth enormous. All right, very cool. But does it have? It doesn't have. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a fair amount of catching here, because and this has got some pretty decent moves, which is unfortunate because we can't keep it. Because the only way to get Mamoswine in this mod is to, didn't I grab a, oh yeah, I did grab a PC in another Poke Center I found on my way here. So the only way to get a Mamoswine is, how do I, you, go, there we go. There we go. The only way to get a Mamoswine is to catch a Piloswine that has Ancient Power as its move, because Mamoswine needs Ancient Power, or Piloswine needs to know Ancient Power to evolve into Mamoswine. But there's no TM, and there's no move relearners or anything like that in this mod. So you really, and it's completely random, or at least it was before, and I don't know if they've messed with it. But like, I can't get a Swinub and evolve it. I've got to get a Piloswine, that, because Swinub can't learn Ancient Power. And it's kind of like one of those base egg move sort of things. Like, you normally would get like a move relearner, and like a Piloswine has that in its base moves, so you can go to a move relearner and it'll be able to teach it Ancient Power. But we don't have that option. So I've got to find one, and I think the way this worked, at least when I was doing Pixelmon Adventures with Cluster, was that Mamoswine's or Piloswine's moves would be randomized, and so like the moves it would have when you caught it would be completely random, level dependent. It just didn't matter. They kind of just, from its total move pool, it would kind of get a random set of 4. We've got a Magnemite we can kill real quick while we're looking here. Oh, there he is. It's like he's so tiny I lost him in the Pidgeot. And remember, guys, I mentioned this at the beginning, give me your nickname ideas. I'd love to stop calling these guys Pidgeot and Swampert. But I don't want to do that without you guys. What's, oh, that's the ice. The ice was water when I came over here, and it's frozen over since then, since I loaded the land. So I guess those sugarcane didn't like being by ice as much as they did by water. But yeah, so I'm gonna actually cut again, since we're getting close to the time for this. And when I find another Piloswine and I've got it in a battle, I'll bring you back, and then we can see what exactly his moves are. Alright guys, I'll see you again in a second. Alright guys, we are in a battle with another Mamoswine here. It's a bigger girl, and she has used Ancient Power on me. I think this is about as close as I can get with Swampert here, so let's throw the Pokeball. We'll throw an Ultra Ball at her. We got plenty of these, so if we've got to use a couple, and I've got plenty of ingredients. We were clearing out our farm at home earlier, so we've got plenty of ingredients to get some more made. Anyway, so there we go, but we got it. I also, if at all possible, so like I've got one that can become a Mamoswine. Let's take a look. Ancient Power, Peck, Mud Bomb, Mist. So it doesn't have any good ice moves. Let's take a quick look. It's enormous, and it's a quirky nature, which I don't know what that does exactly. I know for a Mamoswine, you're typically going to want an adamant nature. So let's 35. This one's not quite as big. I'd love to get an enormous one, but let's just see what we can do here. Okay, that works. Let's try a takedown. Don't kill. Okay. Oh, it's still alive. All right, let's try. I don't know that any of those would do anything, and I don't want to necessarily just waste them. So let's just grab it with the Ultra Ball here. Seems like those give us pretty good luck, and let's just see if we can find one. Size, I'm not so worried about. This one's hasty. Okay, and this one doesn't have the moves anyway. So let me actually pop this guy down. There we go. This guy I'm gonna release, and that guy I'm going to release. And then this guy I'll put in the box for now. And I'll keep looking off camera. And next episode I'll present you guys with the pile of swine we're going to be going with. Because I've just got Swampert at this point. I don't know that I'm going to be able to keep this thing alive or keep Swampert alive. Oh, especially if he misses. Oh, and we're out. Darn it. And recoil. This is going to kill it. We received a snowball. Oh, fun. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing this off camera. Bones could be useful at some point. And I will introduce you guys to our awesome mammoth swine. Well, not our mammoth swine, because my goal is for my gym team my goal is to EV train them, is the goal. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I care more about the natures and stuff in that case, since we're going to be trying to do EV training anyway. Why did Muddy Water do nothing? Ah, it killed it. Fantastic. Ooh, a block of ice. Interesting. Don't even need Silk Touch. But yeah, anyway, so I will introduce you guys to our mammoth swine, or not mammoth swine, gosh darn it, our pile of swine, the one we're going to be EV training to be turning into our mammoth swine. And next time, and I'm going to try and get one that has a good nature. I know Jolly or Adamant are both pretty good, but I need to find one of those Pokemon centers. I accidentally got Pidgeot killed, so I can't fly around anymore. But I gotta get back to one of those Pokemon centers and heal up so I can continue my adventure here. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on where you'd like to see the gym. It is a ground gym, so really I think anywhere will work besides like the ocean or something. I don't know that I can make that work quite as well, but really anything I think I'm open to. So just let me know what you guys think will be good, and if it's not even one of the areas you saw today, if you've got a better suggestion, I am open to hearing it. I'm so dead. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I've been Tormer the Grey, and you guys have been great. And I am lost like crazy, and there's so many good Polyswines that I want to battle and catch, but my Pokemon are all dead. But yeah, so I will continue this on, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.